Guess what time it is? Our first main stage show where we are going to be speaking with some of your favorite voice actors. So if you could please help me welcome to the stage the amazing Sam Slade. Woo! Coming right up behind her, the awesome Jen Silverman. Quickly following behind is Scott Williams. And last but certainly not least, Ollie Wyman. Thank you all so much for being up here. You get chairs, I get to stand. Nah, we're good. All right, so like I said before, this is going to be a very serious discussion about how we're going to change the world. So, whoever would like to start first, what got you into voice acting? You got mics right there.
Started as a hobby. I finished my master's degree, and I was like, I have too much free time. I like staying busy.
Too much free time.
No, but realistically, it started as a hobby. I fell in love with it, fell in love with acting. I started taking acting classes, and I was like, man, I really, really love this. And I was an adult in my mid-20s with adult money, and I just kept taking classes, and I realized, this is, well, we can see where we go with this, and lo and behold, here we are.
Amazing, amazing. Who else?
Yeah, pretty much the same as what Sam said, except I was a theater major, and they want you to be a triple threat, and I'm usually a double threat. I can't dance to save my life.
Same.
So, yeah, one day one of my media studies friends in college had a thesis, and she's like, can you just voice in my project? And I was like, sure. And I said, I like anime, I like video games, why did I not think of this sooner? Went to conventions like you guys, saw a pamphlet for one of the studios in the cities, started taking classes, and here I am.
Amazing, amazing.
All right, well, I have to say that, first of all, I've never formally studied acting. I don't have an acting degree, never went to acting school. I have an art degree. I have an associate's degree in art. But I basically got my start doing community theater, reading stage directions for shows and all of that, doing improvisational theater, and that's kind of how it got started. And I even go back to the CD-ROM era. The old boy goes that far back.
Amazing.
Oh boy. I started I've been a performer since I was 8. I've been an actor for a long, long time. Very long time. And back in the 90s, I was doing a show. I was asked by one of the cast members to join them on an audition for a language program. When people learn to speak English or any other language, they listen to people like me saying things like, excuse me, can you tell me how to find the post office? Thank you very much. And I was doing that for years, and one day, I was working on one of those sessions with a lovely young woman named Veronica I'd never met before. And she, at the end of the session, we got along very well. At the end of the session, I said, you're really good. Do you do any other voiceover work? And she said, yeah, I'm Ash on Pokémon. At that point, I pulled up the Game Boy from my back pocket, and I said, can I please do that? Because I am totally into Pokémon, and that's what I want to do for a living. And that's how I got into anime, and yeah. But the entry-level voiceover work is really language programs. And if you can't get a gig, if you're interested in doing this, go find there's an organization called Lighthouse for the Blind. You can go there and read to blind people, read them their mail, read them, whatever they need to have read to them, and it's a great way to practice and to just, get a start in voiceovers.
Amazing, amazing. You all have done some amazing work throughout your careers, all right? So, other than what is your, you get asked all the time, I'm sure, what your favorite role that you've done is. What's your second favorite role that you've ever done?
I did a McDonald's commercial a couple years ago that aired in the San Francisco Bay Area, and it was 15 minutes in and out. Read my script one time. It had a little legal tag at the end, when they speak very quickly, and it was like in select stores only, blah blah blah. And I finished it, and they were like, "Great, we got the take. Did you speed that up at the end?" And I was like, "What do you mean?" They're like, "Did you have like the post processing on your side?" I was like, "No." And they're like, you just said all that really fast. And I was like, yeah. And so I paid my mortgage that month after 15 minutes.
Heck
Thank you,
yes.
McDonald's.
There you go. Second favorite role.
This is like asking the redheaded stepchild, which redheaded stepchild is your favorite? It's a toss-up between Lady from Devil May Cry Peak of Combat and just doing my Miss Mojos weekly, because I just get to read things and learn things while I'm reading them and go, oh, I didn't know that celebrity got in that scandal or whatever, and it's just, oh, okay, cool.
Amazing. Amazing.
That one I'd have to think about, the second favorite, because I've done so many of them that I can't even remember what I've done.
Forgotten more than we know.
Forgotten more, yeah. But as far as voice acting goes, well, I did a commercial that ran. It was for the anti-smoking campaign.
Sure.
I did that one. I've been in some Pokemon. I guess probably The Rise of Darkrai, maybe, because people have fond memories of that particular film.
Yes.
Yeah.
Amazing. Perfect.
I would have to say Astro Phoenix. Most people would think that would be my favorite. If you ask me later, I'll tell you what number one is, but Aster is my second favorite. And one of the reasons why I truly love Aster, I did not realize how much the fan base loved the character. I had no idea until I went to one of the WCS championships years ago, and people came up to me in tears because they were so happy to meet, because the character meant so much to them. And it blows my mind. That I was able to be, people say all the time, people say you're a huge part of my childhood, but the fact that I was able to be a character that was so inspiring, so meaningful to them, that's one of the greatest gifts I can get from this business.
Amazing. I could sit up here and ask you guys questions all day long. Like, this is fantastic, but I want to give the audience a chance to ask some questions that they might have on their mind. So we have our loud noise in the audience with us. Consummate professionals. All right. So if you have a question for any of our panelists, and I took all the good ones, so I'm sorry. But if you have any other questions, go ahead and put your hand up in the air. We'll come and give you a microphone and let you ask a question.
So, your second favorite, but what's your third?
Oof. I started something. I apologize. Told you it was going to be hard-hitting questions today.
I got it.
Go ahead.
Manta from Shaman King, or Morty if you saw the 4Kids version. Manta was one of the most expressive and insane characters. A lot of very Peanuts style, like Charles Schultz. He had a lot of faces like this. So a lot of insanity, a lot of over the top stuff, which is great because I have to pull back. But yeah, I really loved Manta. It was definitely number 3.
Oh, that's a tough one. That's a tough one. I think probably Sam Jackson that I did on Celebrity Deathmatch.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, that might be.
Yes.
Yeah.
Good.
Does anybody even remember that?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I at least remember it. I know there's other people out there that do.
I guess my most recent role was the landlady in this anime upcoming Kakushite Makina-san, because she thinks that her tenant has ghosts, and they're not ghosts, they're robots. So she's like, we have to leave now, please, let's go. And it's just a lot of fun screaming and freaking out.
Love it. Love it.
I think I'm going to go with Lean from Iodine Chronicle 100 Heroes. She is such a little S-word. She's very little sister coded. She's the protagonist's little sister, and I guess it's not really a spoiler, but she keeps showing up in the game, and you're like, how do you recruit her? Because the game is like, you can recruit every single character you meet, right?
Yeah.
100 heroes. And you find out the hard way that you don't recruit her until you recruit every single character in the game before her. She's the last one you get. She shows up right at the end, and I was like, great, of course, that's the character I book.
Of course.
I don't get to see her until the end of the game. I have not played the game. I will not play the game because of that, just out of spite.
Out of spite.
But,
absolutely.
she's just always teasing the protagonist, like, oh, my big brother really is the hero of the world, seriously, and she's like the cutest little comic relief, and I loved channeling her.
Love it. How animated do you all get in the booth?
Depends on how much so. Well, also it's like what is the medium, you know, what is
Sure.
the tone of the game, what is like is it anime, is it video games, is it western, is it like localization, how serious, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It really just depends. If they give us room to play, I go all out.
Love it.
And it's easier to tone someone down than it is to bring them up.
Of course.
So.
Yeah, amazing.
Depends on how much Dunkin' I've had that day.
Good.
I'm sure I probably have gotten animated in some instances, but I honestly can't recall any particular, maybe a shot and a gesture here.
Oh,
and there.
sure, yeah.
But that'd be about it. You know?
Perfect.
I tend to do what the character's doing
Yeah.
on screen. So if the character is being animated, that's what I'll do, and it will. You know, if the character is running or something like that, you gotta move to get that.
Sure, yeah.
To get that feel. But a lot of times when I'm doing audiobooks, and that's mostly what I do these days. Well, most of what I've been doing for the last 20 years. But I won't get animated, but I make faces. When a certain character, I'll make a face for a certain character, and that's how I will remember how they sound and what their attitude is. So that's the most animated I get in the booth by myself doing books.
Amazing.
I notice I get really bouncy in the booth. In my personal booth, it doesn't matter because it's like, you know, it's my space and I'm always barefoot. I've gotten used to recording barefoot so much. And I don't like wearing real shoes. I wear Birkenstocks and I wear socks with them if I have to wear socks. I go in the studio and I realize my burps get plosive. I get really, really squeaky with the shoe, and I have to record barefoot in the studio because I'm like, I move around so much, and the mic picks it up, and they're like, are those your shoes? And I'm like, I swear I don't have gas, it's my shoes. I'm the studio barefoot. So now I walk in, the first thing I say is, can I take my shoes off? Is that weird? Are you okay with that? Okay, great, I'm taking them off.
Love it. Who else has a question for our panelists up here? Right down here in the front. I know, she was like, I'm gonna come in the back because there'll be somebody back there. Nope, gotcha.
The Irishman, Major Ron. All right. So, speaking from my own experience, I've met most of you now. You know I'm a voice impressionist, so I'm trying to break into the industry. So my question is more for future voice actors, not just myself. So, what advice would you give for someone trying to break into the industry?
Ooh.
Treat it like a business because it is. We're all entrepreneurs. We all, you know, especially those of us where this is like our only income, treat it as a business. And when you approach potential clients, treat it as a business opportunity, which sounds really shallow when you think about the arts and it's beautiful and we want to act and that's all we want to do. At the end of the day, our clients, they clock in at 9, they clock out at 5. This is what they do for a living. And for us, it's so much more than that. But then it's the grounding and the realization of this is work. And I talk to a lot of colleagues and peers who are kind of also like, how do we break that barrier? And I'm like, it's a business. We need to treat it like one.
Amazing.
Impersonation is wonderful if you can do it. If you can narrow down the voice, that's great. But there is the acting portion, which is the most important. So it's always advised to take acting classes, theater classes, improv classes, and that gives you a leg up on the competition because that way you know what the character is thinking, what the character is feeling. You could really get into character more rather than just impersonating a voice. And then, you know, take classes and do what you gotta do. It's a grind. It's you know, you'll have good days, you'll have bad days, but just keep doing it. And if you love it, do what you love.
Well, I would say from my own personal experience, probably the best thing to do is to join a theater writer's workshop. Join a writer's workshop and learn how to read scripts cold. And you'll get, if you get to know them and they get to know you, you get to do all kind of things that you really would not be cast for. So let's say, like, you know, you might get cast as, like, you know, as a little girl. You got to read that. You got to be convincing as that, or like you know, like a Brooklyn gangster or a cop, or you. Because people will write a wide variety of things. So always try to get involved in a writer's workshop.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
The most important thing I would say is networking. Networking. I think there's a saying, skill is where luck meets opportunity. I don't know about that, but get out there. You gotta be out there. The reason I got into voiceovers was doing a show, going out on an audition that was recommended to me by someone else in the cast, and then that job led to meeting Veronica Taylor, which led to me doing anime. So it's really, it's more than anything. Yes, practice, read aloud at home, pick up a book, read into a recorder, listen back. But most importantly, the most important thing to get work is to network, to schmooze. It's the hardest part, in my opinion, because I don't like selling myself. I feel like a jerk. Hi, buy me. No. That's what you got to do. That's the skill.
Good question. Good question.
I just look forward to that answer for anyone who wants.
Who else has a question for our panelists up here? Right here in the front.
What's your favorite line that you said in voice acting?
Your favorite line that you have said. Perfect, go ahead.
Well, when I was a kid, I used to love, you probably don't all remember this, and some of the older folks do, when anime first started coming over here. It was like Gigantor, Speed Racer, and I loved that stuff growing up. And usually, I used to always have friends who, when I got into high school, remember that the characters always had a tendency to go, and I actually had a chance to go,
Good. Love it. Love it. It's those little things that, like, you know, yeah, absolutely. Great.
That's assuming I remember anything that ever comes out of my mouth. No, literally, we get the script when we show up half the time. It's all cold reading, and I go, great, in my eyes, out my mouth, and I don't retain any of it. Although, I will say, because I've written it so many times on like, you know, autographs and prints and stuff, Topaz is like, when she like approaches a powerful enemy and she goes, hey you, time to check your books. It's so silly, because I go, oh, I do need to send it in voice.
Love it. Fantastic.
So there's background work in a lot of animation called Walla. And I just remember, and it didn't make the cut, and I was very sad about it, but we're just these vendors selling food and everything. It's like, hey, you want to buy this chocolate? It's gluten-free. And then, yeah, it didn't make the cut. But the director was like, can you do something like that again? And I was like, no, I totally forgot what I said. But,
love it.
Yeah.
Love it. Off the cuff, improv right there. Catching that lightning in the bottle twice is really difficult. Yeah.
The line that I am always asked to say, and I have to say, when I walked into the studio and I saw this in the script, I asked them, really? I have to say this, really? And some of you may know the line. I get asked all the time. The line is, I'm the best. I can't be beat. And to prove it, I'm challenging this schoolboy. I won't tell you his name, but it rhymes with Schmeatin' Schmooky. I really want to know what the Japanese line was originally, because that is one of the most insane things I've ever had to say, and I love it.
Fantastic. Great question. Any other questions for our panelists? Right here.
Gotta get over there.
Yep, you got it.
I'm coming, I swear. There we go.
I'm not sure which one is the actor Stitch. I think it's the one at the end right there.
What's that?
The one that's right there, I think he's the actor of Stitch.
I wish! Thank you so much. That's probably my favorite Disney movie. And I wish Hey, Rich. Oh, I'm not even gonna try. I'm not even gonna try. But thank you so much. That's very, very sweet.
That's a good segue though. That's a really good question. What would be your dream role? Like what would be something that just like if you did that, be like, yeah, I'm good. I don't have to do anything ever again.
Batman.
What was that?
Batman.
Batman. Yes.
Wait, I have a follow-up on that. Can you do the Batman voice?
Ooh.
Okay. No, I take it back. Joker.
Okay.
Joker.
There we go. Joker.
And you're going to have to get in line.
Oh, I see you received the free ticket I sent you. I'm so glad. I did so want you to be here.
That's
Perfect.
when
Good.
I heard Hamill the
Oh,
first
yeah.
time, I was like, that's the voice I heard in my head the whole time I read the books. He nailed it. Justice
Oh,
Conroy
100%.
nailed Bruce.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's definitely my number one.
Amazing. Yeah, that'd be fantastic.
You said any dream project?
Yeah, dream project.
Any character?
Yeah.
Maybe Captain America.
Yeah.
Somebody like that. Yeah.
Let's go.
Or somebody that I kind of grew up with.
Yeah.
Probably that.
Fantastic.
I think a huge full circle moment for me would be to, this is going back to like 90s JRPG PlayStation 1. My first games were Grandia and Legend of Mana, and if there were a remake for either of those, I think I would be happy just reading for them, that's all. I read for the most recent Mana game, and I was like, I clocked it immediately. I was like, I'm so happy. I'm so happy just to be getting this script. Like, ooh, there's a remake coming?
Love it.
Okay.
Love it.
But yeah, I would just, that would just be like the most full circle, like, oh, I'm so fulfilled. This career is the coolest. I mean, it already is the coolest job ever. But like 6-year-old me would like just probably just die. She's like, I think we're good. We can die right now at this age. It's fine. We're fulfilled.
We've made it. We've made it. We're good.
Manifesting.
Yes.
Any magical girl anime. I just want to be a magical girl, eat, sleep, and cry, and that'll be great. That's it. And save the world, obviously. But yeah.
Yeah. Hey, yeah, it's a tough plot.
What's your current favorite one?
Sailor Moon, always the OG.
Any other questions for our panelists? Right down here in the front. You're gonna work out. Yeah.
I know, I wasn't expecting that.
Oh. Right here.
Who are your voice acting heroes? The people you admire the most, the ones who inspire you?
Ooh, good question.
Megan Hollingshead, the original My Valentine from Yu-Gi-Oh! I actually, funny story, hated Yu-Gi-Oh! In the beginning because I was like, this is annoying, nobody's gonna wanna buy children's trading cards, blah, blah, blah. And then I saw one girl dueling in middle school, and I was like, no, I wanna be that baddie. And then I saw Mai was a baddie, and I was just like, no, I wanna be that girl. And then, getting into voice acting and coming full circle, like what Sam said with Dan Green as my coach and everything, and meeting them, both Mai's are amazing, Erica Schroeder as well. I was like, they kind of adopted me as the cosplay version of her, so it's just amazing and super fun, and they're all great people, so.
Well, for me, it goes back to the 60s, as always. I probably would say Gary Owens, who did the voice of Space Ghost.
Yes.
Because he was the first person I wanted to know what he looked like.
Right.
And he was on Laugh-In, and that was the first person I ever saw. The second one has to be Peter Fernandez.
Yes.
Yeah, he's, and I did meet Peter Fernandez.
It's fantastic. Fantastic.
As ironic as this may sound, I never really clocked. You're always aware, oh, voice actors, that's a job that people do. It didn't really hit my radar until just before I started in 2020. And I was like, oh, that is a job people do. Wait a second, hold on, I really like this. And I realized the one person who was in all the media I was consuming was Kara Buckland. And I really admire her as an actor and as an individual, and she's so humble and so talented. And Kara, if you see this, I am so sorry. I'm also embarrassed. But she's lovely, and I'm grateful to call her a colleague and share projects with her and call her a friend now, and I'm just like, man.
Amazing.
Isn't that crazy? It's so funny how the world works.
Oh, yeah.
Billy West.
Oh,
Straight up. I mean, okay, Rob Paulson, okay. I mean, yeah, and there are people I know. Sean Shovel. Sean Shovel is a pal and one of the most phenomenally talented people I know. Mark Thompson. Mark Thompson. The two of them, and
when I came into 4K, I was a squeaky guy. I got all these parts, you know?
I didn't get Mark, Sean, Dan Green. The three of them have the architecture of their heads and their throats are such that they can get voices that I cannot do.
For sure.
They can, I'm always amazed. Young Yugi, Isayama Yugi, right? That makes me cry with laughter every time I hear Dan doing that. So yeah, those guys I admire. They have an amazing range.
And like I said, I'm this guy. I'm the squeaky guy. So
Billy West, he's really, he's the guy whose footsteps I try to follow.
Amazing. I think we got time for one more question, and then final thoughts from the panel. So if there's anybody that has one more, right here. Evie down here in the front.
How long have you guys been, acting?
Ooh, how long have you been doing it? Acting in general?
So I went on children's commercials auditions when I was your age. And I hated going into the city. I hated just, meeting people and back then because you're a kid, you don't know what's going on. So one day the agent asked me if I really liked Welch's grape juice, and I looked him dead in the eye and I said, blech. So for a while, I didn't think acting was for me. And then I started going to the theater and started liking all the musicals and everything. And I said, no, this is what I want to do. And then I saw Sailor Moon and Yu-Gi-Oh! And I said, no, this is what I want to do. And I just kept doing it. So at least 20, 25 years.
Amazing.
I do community theater. So, never stop, just keep going. And again, just love doing it.
Amazing.
For me, I would probably have to say it was the early 80s, because when I was in art school, I used to go downtown to South Street and do improvisational theater. And I had a friend named Gregory. Gregory was funny as hell. Gregory would just talk about a ham and cheese sandwich, and it would just be funny. So we used to do these improvisational tapes, cassette tapes, and we would improvise whole movies on tapes. And I was always playing the announcer, and we would do different people. We put James Earl Jones and William Shatner and Sean Connery in this hypothetical movies. And I still have some of those, actually.
Amazing. Amazing.
So, in total, about 4.5 years. Professionally, about 2.5. But I've been a performer my whole life. I've been an instrumentalist, band, orchestra, you name it. And I've been performing since, about 25 years.
Amazing.
So the performance aspect, I'm not a stranger to. But the acting stuff is still relatively new. I'm still learning.
Amazing.
Like I said before, I've been a performer since I was 8. And some of you may realize that's a long time. So it's 50 years. I have been a performer professionally for 50 years.
Wow, fantastic. All right, so in closing, I want to just open it up to the 4 of you. Aspiring voice actors that may be on here, aspiring actors, creative types. What is one thing of advice that you could give to them to keep them going when things might look like it's not turning their direction?
Just do it. I know it sounds really easy, but you are your worst enemy and you are your harshest critic. Keep going. There are so many times where I'm sure all of us at this table went, is this the end of the line? Am I done? Am I tired? Am I never going to see another opportunity? Is this worth everything? And you never know. You never know where life will take you. I literally started this after finishing a master's in business. I am not using it anymore. You never know where life is going to take you. Just keep going. And that kind of goes for everything, actually.
Oh yeah, that's good advice.
Be genuine. When you're meeting people, you never know who you're going to meet. Be kind, be humble, and just make sure you don't lose sight of who you are. Because it is a business. If you let it get to your head, you don't want to be on that opposite side of the social media spectrum. And people see when you are being genuine versus when you're not, and they love genuine connections. So
I would say no matter what you do, always be a student. Always be a student.
Yes.
Always observe, always watch, and always put it here into your, into your memory bank. That's the most important thing. Always remember, you're always learning. You're always learning. And even Dizzy Gillespie, the great trumpet man, said he was right up until he died. He said he was always learning. So that would be my best advice.
Always keep learning. Love it. Love it.
I studied with an acting teacher for many years, a wonderful, wonderful woman called Carol Fox Prescott. And she inspired me in many, many ways. There are a lot of things that she said to me that have stuck in my head over the years. But the one thing that really, really, really resonated with me, and I think will resonate with a lot of you, because you're like me, she said, every day you gotta get up and fight the dragon. Every day. That's what you gotta do. And that's how you look at it. It may seem like a grind, but you gotta do it. There's a dragon out there, you gotta slay it. You gotta get up, you gotta get your armor on, you gotta get your weapons, and you gotta kick that dragon's butt. So that's my bit of spiritual advice to all of you. Get up in the morning, slay the dragon.
Amazing. Amazing. Let's hear it for our panelist, Nococon, right here. Let's make some noise. We can do better than that. Let's go. Yeah.